Today we're going to continue sewing shapes on our sewing embroidery project. I today have a few of these tiny little pink squares that I'm going to be sewing onto my project. So I'm going to need to be stitching those on. Another really fun thing to do is add beads and buttons to your embroidery project. So I'm going to show you how to attach those on today as well. Let's start by threading our needle. So I'm going to get an arm's length of string or thread, not too long because we don't want to get it all tangled. Then I'm going to hold just a teeny bit of it poking out, not a long floppy piece, and I'm going to try to poke that through my needle. It might take a couple tries, that's okay. And then I'm going to pull it through so that I have a short end and a long end. Now we remember from last time that the long end is the piece that's going to get taped down on the back. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape to my long piece. And all tape has to go on the back, not on the front. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to tape behind the area where I'm going to start sewing. So I think I'm just going to tape that one right on top of that other piece there. Okay, now I'm going to hold my needle and I'm ready to start sewing. Now, just like last time, we're going to be sewing up, down through our embroidery hoop. So I'm going to take my first shape and I'm going to place it where I want it to go. I'm going to start by poking up through the fabric, and I'm just poking the tip of my needle up until it pokes up in the place where I want it to be. And I'm just going to poke it right through the middle of this small shape that I have. Now I'm going to pull the thread all the way through until there is no loose thread hanging on the back. It is very tight. And now I'm ready to go back down through the fabric to make a stitch. Now, today I'm going to actually be adding beads to my stitches. So the first one I'm going to do without a bead so that you can see just a regular stitch again. So I'm going to go right down through here and pull it through. I'm actually going to do something a little fancy. I'm going to go up one more time because sometimes I like to make my stitches look like an X shape. I kind of like to do different little designs with my stitches. Okay, so there's a few little plain stitches. Now for my next one, I'm going to do something fancier. So let's come up again. We just went down, so that means it's time to come up through the middle. And this time I'm going to add a bead. So beads and buttons all have little holes on them, and the holes have to be big enough to get your needle through. So if you find one with a hole that's too small, you're just gonna have to pick another one. Now all you have to do is put your needle through the bead and then put your needle back through the fabric, going back down so that your bead stays on top. And then you just pull it tight so that it will stay in place. It's super easy and super fun and super beautiful. And I'm gonna do another one here. I'm gonna come up through the fabric, pulling it tight so that I don't have any loose floppy ends. I always pull it tight every single time that I do a stitch. And it doesn't matter what the back looks like. You can see the back is looking a little crazy, but it only matters what the front looks like today. And this time I think I'm gonna do, let's do a button. I think I'm gonna do this white button here. So I'm gonna go up through one of the holes in the button. This button has got 2 holes. And then I'm gonna go down through the other one. And I'm gonna place my needle right next to my other stitch so that my button will go just right on top of that area. Awesome. I'm just gonna keep on going, adding extra beads or buttons to wherever I think they need to go. And if you run out of thread, just tape the end down and get a new piece and start working again. Just like last time, we're going to be using our problem-solving skills today. If you make a stitch that you don't like, or you accidentally wrap your thread around the hoop, or it gets in a knot, we're just going to remove the needle. Try to pull out the stitches or cut them out if necessary. And then you can rethread your needle once you've got it out, or if you need to get a whole new piece of thread, that is totally fine. We can always problem solve any sewing mistakes. When you have added all the beads and buttons that you want to your project, we will leave it for the day.